So, yeah, morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. My name is Sreeram, and today we're going to do something different in our channel. That's possible. That something we haven't done before so far. We've done podcasts and things. Today we'll be aiming to create a small tutorial to create data visualizations about football. So, yeah, if I talk about myself, it's quite a search if you're looking to find the right tutorial where to follow. Everything will be available in the internet. That's one thing about coding, and you don't need to be a coding maestro to do data visualizations. I myself am not such a great exponent of coding myself. Yes, I do have prior experience in C++, but Python and Matplotlib is something I very recently picked up. It's quite easy to pick it up, just some people have fear of I don't know coding, especially if they're not from a science background or engineering background. Coding is basic stuff. I'm not boring you much. We will just get on to how we'll do it. So in our first episodes, we don't want the videos to elongate much, so we will go step by step. And the first thing that I'm planning to do in this series is just to show how to get data from FBref, which is one of the best websites for data about football, free data, and there's a bunch of data in there. And we will just in this episode look at how to get data and how to bring it into a Jupyter notebook, which is what I use actually. So I just hit CMD if you haven't noticed that, and inside this we will just type in Jupyter and notebook. I have already installed Python and Jupyter notebook in this one. I will be using Python, not R, because I just want to go with Python first. A thing to note is a prerequisite is that install Python in your system, and please do install the Jupyter notebook as well if you want. You can use PyCharm or something as well, any IDE based on Python. I just like Jupyter notebook much. So yeah, inside notebook, these are all my files in the directory. What we're going to do is just click on new, and I will click a Python 3 kernel. So while it does that, you can close the home page tab if you don't need it. It's perfectly fine. We'll just go to FBref, and when we go to FBref, here is the FBref website for anybody who's not visited. Please do if you like football, if you like stats. It's just a gold mine. I cannot say that anything less for this website. If we are talking about free data, this is a gold mine. And I don't want to be biased towards any leagues, so I'll just say let's go to the big five European leagues combined. And here you find the big five combined table, and you can see Manchester City leading the way there. Bayern Munich, PSG, quite a surprise. I don't know how they are in there for points per game, but yeah, their league is easy, so quite interesting. Raheem Sterling as the top scorer. Yeah, you can find everything in here. This is basically the go-to place if you're looking for stats, latest stats, and detailed stats as well. Okay, so what we will go do here is when you start out, you are trying to do simple things and keep it really simple. That's how it should be. If some people have an idea that immediately as they start they have to do everything, they have to scrape the web and things like this. if you just are doing this for fun, why are you just jumping the gun? Just go slow. You will go slow. At least I'm going slow, if that's not an issue. So here we have, I pulled up the player goals and shot creation. Okay, and you can clean this data here itself, or you can clean this in Excel, or you can clean this in Python. I will not be cleaning it here anyway, because what I mean by cleaning is there are a lot of rows here. Like if you're trying to plot a scatter plot, there are a lot of columns that you do not need, and you might need to filter out the rows as well based on how many 90s they have played, or definitely 90s is a criteria you have to pass, minimum minutes played. What we will be doing is none of it though. We'll just go and just put it as it is. So here you find an option, get table as CSV. Just click on that option, and you will get this table as a CSV file. Just copy all this data. Copy all of this data up until the bottom one. I'm not sure if we can do this in any quicker method. I really don't know. So I'm just holding my mouse up, copying this data, and it's quite long. This is why we should have filtered, but FBref has no filters for 90s or such things. You have to do it in your Excel sheet or in your Jupyter notebook. Okay, we copy this one, just a single copy. Now you have two options. I will show you the one that I take. I'll just type in sheets, so, and open up Google Sheets. You can totally open a new Excel sheet in an Excel workbook in your system and do this there. I just prefer sheets. I just don't want to waste space on my computer. So yeah, just open up a blank sheet. You can name it whatever you want. It won't be an issue. Okay, and once you have loaded your sheet up, what you want to do is the data you have copied from FBref, just paste it here. I've hit the command for paste. I'm not sure it happened though. If it did not, okay, it did happen. Yeah. So now, and do notice that I have pasted all the data into the first cell, A1. Now just go to data here, and you will find an option here to split text to columns. Where is that option? Yeah, I just wanted to get and you hit split text to columns, and the separator it will detect automatically, and it's a comma separated file. Okay, what's the matter here now? Yeah, we have to split this one as well. My mistake. Okay, it is. Okay, so what this has done is it has pasted all the data not into a single cell. It has pasted all of the data in the first column. So we will just select all of those columns and then split text to columns. That's the easiest way out. Yeah. So these things, these can happen sometimes. Just don't get bothered from it. It's a quite basic thing to happen. And now you have your data. Okay, so this has pasted the entire table into a tabular form in a way that it is already present inside FBref. This format will create issues once you go into the Python, and I will say that why, because there is this data cleaning to do here definitely. So we have short creating actions, goal creating actions. We do not have expected assist here, do we? Okay. It would be much better if we also got the expected assists in the same sheet itself. Okay, since we have SCAs per 90, GCAs per 90s. Yeah, for the tutorial this works definitely. What I'm going to do, this is not necessary definitely, I'll just delete here, because the reason I'm doing this is, as far as the Pandas data frame is concerned, the first row will be the headings of your Pandas data frame. The first row of the CSV or the Excel will be the heading of your data frame. So you generally do not want those to be, in the previous case, all those top ones would be unnamed. You definitely don't want that. So I just deleted those. I'll just paste it into the top tier. Did this happen? Okay. Yeah. So now it's perfectly pasted, all the headings into the top, and that is good to go. You might want to remember what these mean. Even if you don't, you can always refer back to a FBref to say what they mean. I will just rename it to something called tutorial, and this will automatically get saved in your drive. But what I want to do now is I'll just say, okay, is the size too small? I'll just say download, and I will download it as a CSV. It should download, yeah. And now let's do one thing. Let's go back to Jupyter. Let's rename this as tutorial, and we can get started with what I actually wanted to show you. So once we import files to plot anything, the first thing is data. How do you import data? My choice is CSV, you saw. So just to touch upon the libraries, Python has these libraries to make things really simple. You'll say import matplotlib.pyplot as BLT. This is a really standard, any tutorial you see, any documentation you see, you will be seeing this. Matplotlib.pyplot is the basic plotting library that is available in Python. And we will say import pandas as BD. We won't be needing numpy unless we are making any mathematical calculations as such, but you can still say import numpy as np. Just keep it there, why not? So our purpose is simply to keep, since our purpose is to, with this tutorial, is just to see how to import these files, so that's fine. You see here, I will put the cursor right here. When you see these asterisks inside these braces, it means that it's running. It will run, don't worry about that. While it runs, so I told you already, I am not really a coding geek as well, so I will just look up the method to import a CSV file, and I encourage all of you to do it as well. It's nothing wrong. Referring to the internet for syntax is nothing wrong. It's a basic thing. It's something that even developers and companies do. So yeah, DF stands for data frame. pd.read, pd means these pandas.read CSV. Really easy to understand. This is why people actually love Python. So what are we importing? We are importing a CSV file. From where? To see from where, you need to see, kindly ignore anything that you find in this that should not be here. Okay, we'll go to properties. So in properties, put it in the center. The path of this file we have to pass on to our DF. So I'll just copy the location and pass this location here and put one more slash, and what we are going to do is pass this name as well. Just a minute, my screen recording went off. Okay, so we have done that, and yes, be sure to get these spellings right, because the computer is a really dumb machine, it won't know what happened. And be sure to get this name exactly right. You need to do one more thing, just put an R here. The purpose is that I won't get into much of the detail, it's actually to let it know that it's what is being passed out. So yeah, your job is done. What if I tell you your job is done? Inside df you will find the same table that we used in the Excel sheet, and with this data you can do a lot of stuff. We'll just get on with some simple stuff. So if you want to view the tables, if you say df.head, it will give you the tables first 5 rows along with the column names and each and every. So you see these 3 dots here. Why these 3 dots are coming? Pandas has a limit as to how many columns it will show. If you want to see the entire columns in a table, that's possible, but if you say df.columns, you will find all these columns in here. Yeah, you have matches, def, nation, and these are all the columns that are available, and definitely these are not all the columns that are here. You see there are 26 columns, but here you will not see 26. These are definitely not 26, come on, who are you kidding? Okay, and another basic functionality in Pandas is, we talked about data clearing. I will just show how you can drop df.drop if you say, and just start this. I do not want this thing called matches here, so why don't we drop this? We'll say df.drop. I'll just copy this matches, and be very sure M is capital here, it's matches, not match. If it's wrong, it will go wrong. So I'll just say df.drop. I hope this is the syntax, otherwise I will have to refer to the internet. Okay. So what's the error here? Matches not found in the axis. Okay. Let's try and fix this. Why I'm doing this raw in real time is to show that I struggle as well. It's nothing much. Okay, so how to drop a column in Pandas? Just search. The only thing is just you have to learn how to search and learn what to search for. Otherwise, these are really simple. You definitely do not need me to. Okay, there it is. So if this is a data frame, yeah, we have to say axis is equal to 1 as well. Come on guys, I do not want to sign up with you right now. Just let me see it. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Okay. Why the hell cannot not scroll? Basically we just have to add in. So this is the data frame, just similar to ours. We see these rows, these columns, and these people are trying to remove what? They're trying to drop A from it. So we just have to drop A and just put the axis there. Yeah. So this one we have to pass inside these braces. That's the mistake I made. And even if I do not specify axis, I think it should be fine. Axis means the columns or the rows. We're just letting it know that's a column. So axis 1. We'll try it, run it again. and look at that. This is our table, and lo, the matches one is gone right at the end. But I'll tell you what it is. If you type in df.head yet again, let's just get a few more columns under it. Should be tuck, 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 tuck. Yeah, just let it be there, just for fun. If I say df.head again, the matches column would not go. I'll tell you why. Why is this still here? Because I did not make changes. I just ordered Python to show me, this is just a show. I have just ordered it to display to me to this data frame and drop matches from it. If I want it to reflect into my data frame, what I will do is I have to say df equals to df.drop, and this will make sure that it's dropped. If you're wondering what I'm hitting to run these, it's shift plus enter. A simple enter would give you a line. A shift plus enter would run this code. And now when you say df.head, it's actually gone. Okay, what else can I show you? Okay, in FBref, you see this thing called, after every player's name there's a backslash, and there's this whatever alphanumeric code they have put there. I don't know why they do that, but there's a simple function to do this as well. So we'll say split a column in data frame. We can split a string into two columns, so we can split a string. Yeah, just let's look at this. It's a Stack Overflow. I suggest not to look much into Stack Overflow because it really has kind of tough codes. I'm not discouraging you, but yeah. So what am I going to say? Okay, I will tell you what this one means first. This one means that there are two columns, A and B, that we are wanting to create. There's already a column called AB, and this command will split that column with this. It's a blank. So if there's a space, there's a column called AB where there's a space, it will split the part before the space into column A. It will split the part after the space into column B. So if you understand this, then you know what we have to do here. What are we trying to create here? We're not trying to create, these will create two new columns. I don't want to create a new column. I just want to change this player column. Okay, I'll just copy it. Why am I copying it from here? Is it the name I have to get exactly correct, and that triangle like thing is okay. I'll just delete this one. So we want this column itself, and we're going to edit this column as well. The same column we're editing, and we're changing the values in it. str.split. What are we splitting now? We're going to split at a backslash. So we'll just say backslash here. Why did I put a double backslash, you might ask? Why not a single one? See this, why do I see the red there and when I put again? So backslash in coding languages C++ and Python as well, it's an escape sequence. So backslash has a different meaning in a coding language than just the backslash that we are referring to. So if you want the code to treat this backslash as a backslash and not a special character, which in programming terms it is, you have to add two of them. So one is the escape sequence and the other is the actual backslash. Let's try and run this. Let's hope this works as well. Okay, what's the issue here now? Column should be the same length as key. I did not quite get that. Does it have something to do with it? Give me a second, guys. Yeah, I should have looked at this one earlier. Really sorry. This really should work, but is not working. I don't know. Okay, perhaps. How about now? Yes, so we have split it. I want to get rid of the second one. I've quite forgotten how to do that, if I'm being honest with you. I'm taking the privilege of referring to one of my first files here. I think it would be GK sweeping. Let's just see how I did it back then. So yeah, what I'm trying to tell you is, yeah, mistakes happen. It's nothing much. And yeah, okay. I did not add this. I did not add this. Otherwise, it's the right code, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try and fix this one real quick. I should have edited this video. Okay, now it's run. I will just have a look at df.head. So there you go. You have split the player column and you have just gotten rid of whatever was following the, what should I say, whatever was following the backslash. And why are we adding the 0? First block in Python or C++, the first thing is 0. So once you have split it, once you have split two things, number 1 is 0 and number 2 is 1. To the left of backslash is 0, so that's why it was necessary to add it. And why I got that error earlier was, I ordered it to split, but it splits into 2 columns, and I wanted to split it into 2 columns, but I did not name 2 columns, I only named 1 column, and that's the issue. That was the issue. Before winding this up, I'm just thinking if I could show you anything more. Okay, so if you notice these names in the column here, it's quite bad. Pass, dead, pass, live. So you can actually rename these as well. And to rename, I will just do this one again. Have I renamed columns here? No, I guess. Okay, fine. If I haven't done rename, then yeah, just check how to rename. It's that simple. Now, if you're thinking that I can do this myself, why do I have to watch a podcast to do it? Sorry, not a podcast, a tutorial. You don't. But then again, some people do not do it themselves. Like, yeah, you are okay. df.rename columns. So we don't have columns. Let's just, to show you, I will just rename 1 column. Let's rename, what should I rename? Okay, this SCA, why don't we just expand it and write it at short creating actions. To the left you write the original one. To the right you write short creating actions. Okay. Should work. Why don't we try it? And if you have guessed it right, when I say df.head, should it change or not change? I think you should know the answer by now, that it would not change, because I did not put df equals df.rename, which is that I am editing the previous document and making the change which is mentioned to the right hand side. That's renaming of the column. Run this again, run this head again. Now it will be reflected. So yeah, that's everything that I wanted to show you here. The main purpose was to show you how to get data from FBref into Python, into a Pandas data frame. We can also look at one more thing before we wind this up. In our next episode we will be going towards plotting. So we will just have a look at the list function and the log function as well. Coming to list, I want the players, all the players in the list. I will say player equals to list. Just put it right here, the braces, and I will say df. We need to pass on which column. So this is the column name. I'll just copy it. You can copy from both places, like you can copy from where I copied, or you want to show the column and then copy it from there. Perfect, it's fine. But do use copy paste, don't try to type, because you will end up making a mistake. Uppercase, lowercase, things like that. So player is a list I've created of these, a list, and you can just show this list. Player, if I show players, here you go, there's your list. If I want to find the 10th player in this list, it means nothing. If I want the 10th player, I will have to type 9, because I told you that it starts from 0. So look at that, Ackerway is 9. So yeah, it's ordered by alphabet of the last name. Where would Messi be? A really wild guess. We have, should we try 100? Let's try, just for the sake of it. Okay, it's still at 100, so definitely not. Won't waste our time. Where is Messi? Why don't we try and locate Messi? So how do you locate? To locate, you just say df.lc. And we are trying to locate a player where the player value equals to Messi. df.lock df player equal to I do not know what Messi's name in FBref is. Let's try Lionel Messi. Oh yes, it is Lionel Messi himself. Looks a bit weird, Paris SG, but yeah. So he's 1694th in the list, Argentine, forward midfielder, Paris Saint-Germain, 34 years, 253 days. Yeah. This lock will be useful when you have to take data of one player and plot it, opposed to a scatter plot, like if you're plotting a radar chart, or if we're trying to plot a pizza chart, things like that. So yeah, I will end this one here. I hope this was not very boring.